Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Education Board.
Hello, students of Senior 3 Biology class. You are welcome to today's lesson. Hope everybody is doing well, right? Yeah. This is Kovia, your usual teacher of biology. We are continuing with Unit 5, where we were looking at the effects of human activities on ecosystem. But remember, I told you in the previous lesson that we have two here. Because in Unit 4, we only had ecosystem 2. I mean ecosystem 1, but here we have 2. This 2 has a meaning. Because when somebody talks of the word effects, we said effects means what? We said effects can be positive or negative. For Unit 4, we were looking at negative. For Unit 5, we're looking at the positive. All right? What man does to conserve and sustain the environment. All right? The other unit was looking at what does man do that may damage the environment or the ecosystem. All right? So this is lesson 2. It is lesson 2 where we are continuing with sustainable resources and development. All right? This is continuation of the other previous lesson we were looking at. All right? So we need to know or have some objective for today's lesson. There are some objectives. There are what we need to acquire here after the end of this lesson. So at the end of this lesson, every learner will be able to state some of the resources that can be maintained or reused or recycled. All right? So from here, you will be able to tell, when you go back to your home, you will be able to tell, if we are using this oil, cooking oil, this bottle, can we take it back and be made or be recycled to another thing that is very useful? Or when we are using this knife, is it easier for it to be used again? Or we are just going to be using things, then dump them or burn them, all right? So everybody will be able to tell the things which can be reused, just starting from our home. From the school here, from the class here, from the environment where we always move, all right? So whenever you come across a thing, you will be able to tell, this chalk, when it gets finished, I can easily collect these small pieces, then gather them together and get another product that is very useful, if it can be. So by the end of this lesson, everybody will be able to tell what are the things that can be maintained or reused or recycled, all right? Those are different terms, but they mean the same. Is it clear? So another thing we shall be able to tell, or we shall have known from here, from today's lesson, we shall be able to tell or to outline how sewage is treated to make the water safe to return to the environment or for human use. All right? So normally at home, you see when you're washing the utensils, that dirty water that you normally pour into the pipe then goes away. In the toilet, you go to the toilet, you just flush the water, that is dirty water. You wash your clothes, that is dirty water. You clean the home, you clean the house, that is dirty water. So all that water with those particles, with all that dirtiness, that is sewage. It can be from home, it can be from school, it can be from industries, it can be from garages, it can be from everywhere. All that dirty water that contains some bacteria, some salty things, that is sewage, all right? That is sewage. Now, how can we treat, how can we manage that dirty water to get now clean water that can be used again at home? I don't know whether you think can be, do you think can work? Do you think that water that we flush in the toilet, that we use to clean clothes, that we have used the washing utensils, can be again the same water that we can drink? Do you think can it be possible? Do you think so? The water used for cooking, for washing, the other day can be used for cooking. You think can it be possible? That's what we're going to look at. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to tell that, you know what, the water I flush in the toilet, the water I wash with my clothes, the water that is used in the garage to wash, to clean the vehicles with oil and whatever, can tomorrow be used for drinking again. It is the same water that I can drink. It can be. All right? We are going to know that at the end of this lesson. Thank you. Now, we start with one. That is reuse and recycling. Reuse and recycling. What does it mean? I've used this chalk today, then tomorrow it gets finished, can gather the pieces as I said. Tomorrow I can use it again, or I use it on the other way. Or it can be used for other activity. That is reuse. So to reuse something or to get something to be used again, we can do what we call recycling. All right? To recycle. So recycling is what? Recycling is the conversion of waste material into other materials that can be useful. The waste things we call to be waste materials, then we convert them into things that are useful today. That is recycling. All right? This is a method which is very useful in conservation of resources as it reduces use of new raw materials. Now, like I cut a tree, I will use a tree for one purpose. Then when it gets old, I can use it for another purpose. Instead of going back to cut a new tree that I use it, I continue using the tree that I cut. So I'm trying to conserve the forest by using the same tree that was used for one purpose. When that purpose is done, and I recycle it or I reuse it for another purpose. I modify it, I convert it to another. Instead of saying, no, this is old, let me dump it, let me burn it. No. You're not helping the environment. You're not helping the ecosystem. I think you get what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that there are materials that can be used today. Instead of dumping them, instead of burning them, we can convert them to other new raw materials. Instead of going to get the new one, we use the same product that was used for one purpose, for another purpose, after recycling them. All right? So don't burn, don't dump, just recycle. So the dumping of waste instead of recycling can lead to like three things. Can lead to air, water, or land pollution. So normally, instead of burning, burning of materials leads to air pollution, leads to land pollution, leads to water pollution. If you throw things around, you use a bottle, just throw in the water body. It goes and settles on the bottom of the river or the water body. Then at the end, it affects the aquatic animals. You burn smoke, that is carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, accumulates in the atmosphere, brings, that is aquatic, that is acidic rain. You know when carbon dioxide reacts with water, we get carbonic acid. All right? I think you studied some chemistry, chemistry. That is carbon dioxide plus water, you get carbonic acid. And carbonic acid is very dangerous to the environment, to human being. It can lead to cancer, it can lead to respiratory diseases, it can damage houses which are made of marble. So it is very dangerous, the carbonic rain. So don't always burn the materials that you have finished using. Be it your old books. If you have old books, don't say, you know what, Dad, I have a lot of books here at home. They are old, I no longer need them, let me go and burn them. No. Those books can be recycled, can be used for another purpose. But if you happen to burn them, they destroy the environment. They will pollute the environment. That carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide I said when carbon dioxide reacts with water, it will lead to what we call carbonic acid or carbonic rain, which is very dangerous to human beings and the environment or ecosystem at large. So always prefer recycling than burning and dumping. All right? So we are looking at the use. Do you think recycling helps? One, it helps to conserve, mainly is to conserve the resources, the natural resources. Instead of going back to get the raw material, new raw materials, you continue using what you have. All right? You prevent land, water, and air pollution. Is it clear? Good. So always at home, if a book is old, if you feel you have a lot of things, all the clothes, all the shoes, all of those, don't get a decision of burning them. Bottles at home, don't. Always, the aim is to gather them, take them to recycling plants you're going to see in today's lesson, then try to make other new products from the already used. Instead of polluting the environment, just make them to get other uses or other products. Is it clear to everybody? Good. Now, recyclable materials. Examples of recyclable materials. Materials that can be recycled. One, papers. I've been talking of the books. If you have books, don't burn them. They can easily be recycled. They can be reused to get other products. Grasses. Grasses can be recycled. Plastics can be recycled. And metals can be recycled. All right? So those things can be recycled. Don't always take a decision of dumping them, of burning them. No. So to recycle these materials, they are, first of all, you have a lot of things at home which you no longer want. What should be done? So they are supposed to be sorted out. When you take them to normally you always see people around moving around in your villages, collecting used paper, used bottles, used containers, all those things that you think they are not useful. Why do you think they collect them? They take them to recycling plants or industries or factories such that they can be reused. So, and you may think that, no, this thing is dirty. So how are they going to bring it back and we use it again? So there are things they need to first do before they bring them back for use. One, when those women you surround and men collecting those you call dirty containers and whatever, those used containers and bottles at your home, when they reach there in the factories or in the recycling plant, first of all, they sort them out. If they are plastics, they are put aside. If they are grasses, they are put aside. If they are papers, they are put aside. So they sort them out. Another thing, they wash them with water to remove the dirtiness. You know, for you at your home, when you finish using them, just throw anyhow. So they need to wash them. They remove the dirtiness. Then they are reprocessed into new materials for manufacturing other items. All right? So they collect them from homes, from the schools, from the hospitals, from around, shops and whatever, markets. So they collect them. Then after collecting them, they go and sort them out. The plastics aside, the glasses aside, and the papers aside, all right? So after sorting them, wash them. Then they recycle them or reprocess them. And there, they decide, if these are plastics, we're going to work upon them on this way, and these ones which are glasses, we're going to produce other similar things or somehow different, but of the same category, like that, all right? So we have what we call ecoplast. So ecoplast is located at Majerejere in Nyarugenge. So this is a plant that is used for recycling. So in Nyarugenge here in the town, Kigali city town, there is a plant that we call eco plant that is used for recycling, all right? So you take that's where you see these women collecting used bags, used bottles, among others, taking them. They take them to that factory. It is just an example of the factory that does recycling. That is in Jerejere in Nyarugenge district, that is Kigali. So you take them, they take them there, then they do what we call recycling. All right? So companies like Company for Development, for Environment and Development is a recycling company which deals with organic wastes. Hospitals, schools, and residents are the major suppliers of those organic wastes. All right? Good. So these are some of the materials that can be recycled. Look on the screen. So a lot of bottles, a lot of both plastic and glasses bottles. These ones are very, very useful. When you think that you have used them, then let me just dump them. No, 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 don't dump them. They can easily be recycled. You see them? Different kinds of bottles, different kind of bottles. Both plastic and glasses. So these are materials which can easily be recycled, all right? Which can easily be recycled. So, as I said in our today's objective, that you will be able to tell at the end of this lesson, what are the materials which can be recycled? But now I think from the diagram you can tell. You can tell that the bottles can be recycled, both plastic and the glasses. You can tell papers can be recycled. So the metals can be recycled. So I think everybody here now, if asked that, or if you reach home and you see your parents who are not aware of this, trying to tell you to dump these used materials, or trying to tell you to burn them. No, no, no. Tell them no. The teacher told us, Mom, that these things are not to be burnt after using them. They are not supposed to be dumped. No, no, no. They are supposed to be recycled. There is something they call recycling, which is making them to be useful again. So you try to explain and gather them. You will see people coming around looking for them. Then we take them and tell them, why do you insist that they're not supposed to be burnt? Tell them that the reason, Mom, why we don't want to burn these materials is that when we burn them, we shall destroy the environment. We shall pollute the environment. All right? Polluting the environment how? When we burn these materials, they will turn or they will give out carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, of which when it reaches in the atmosphere, it reacts with, this is the equation, carbon dioxide, gas, plus water, that is liquid. In the atmosphere, it will give you carbonic acid or carbonic rain. All right? This is carbonic rain. So the rain that will come down on the ground, carbonic what? Rain. The rain that will come down here on the ground, it will be acidic. It will be acidic rain. Acidic rain. All right? This is carbonic acid. Sorry? Carbonic acid. Carbonic acid. The carbonic acid, which leads to acidic rain. All right? And I said it is very dangerous to the environment. It can cause the skin cancer. It can cause these houses which are made of marble trees to get damaged. It can lead to different problems. Therefore, you should not burn those materials. Just do what? Just do what we call recycling them. All right? Thank you so much. So we are done with that. Hope everybody has known what recycling is, what reusing of materials is. Reusing materials, that is finished goods, used goods, to be used again for other use or for future use, all right? So today's objective also, we talked of the sewage treatment. I said this sewage water is got from our homes, from the schools, from the hospitals. The used water, the dirty water, how can it be made again to be useful, to be used as clean water? All right? So, sewage treatment, as I said, you clean your utensils, you wash your clothes, you wash your shoes, the vehicles are cleaned in the garages, in the hospitals, all that water that is pumped into the water pipe that takes those wastewater. Right? Those pipes run into the recycling plants. I mean the sewage treatment plants. So there are like three processes. There are like three processes that are undergone to produce clean water. One is biological, another one is chemical, another one is physical. All right? Briefly, let's talk about this. When we talk of the biological process, when we talk of the chemical process or physical process, now, when this dirty water is powered, when you look at the picture there on the screen, this is sewage treatment plant in Kigali. All right? So the water you power gathers in one area. So as it gathers in one area, these are some of the people that work upon the treatment of water. So as it gathers in one area, so when the water is powered, as I said, there are three processes that are undergone. The biological process. So when you power water, it contains salt things, it contains bacteria, it contains all kinds of dirtiness, all right? So when it goes to the plant that is responsible for, or treatment plant, when it reaches there, first of all, there's what we call screening. They remove the salts substances, screening. They remove the salts substances from that water. Now you remain with water which is dirty. So when that water continues, there is what we call, now in the water, they add some substances, like kind of bacteria, kind of substances that will go to feed on the microorganisms that are in that water. All right? That is biological. All right? So the screening is physical. So now biological, they start to feed on those microorganisms in water. All right? Then after removing those microorganisms and whatever from the water, then it continues. Then another thing, what happens is the kind of filtering. So when it is filtered, you remain with somehow a clean water, but not very clear and not clean for drinking, all right? Now, what happens next? Another thing, there are chemicals that are added there. There are chemicals that are added there. For what is the use of those chemicals? Those chemicals are go and remove all the bacteria and other microorganisms that might have remained in the water, all right? They remove and clean all those microorganisms that might have remained in water. Then from there, they start what we call testing. They start to test if the water is clean. The test is done several times to an extent that they will reach and say, this is pure water. Therefore, in brief, that's how it is done. There is biological, chemical, and physical process that is done to try to treat water. So at the end of the day, you find that the water that is produced from there, that is sewage, as I said, sewage treatment plant in Kigali, So when you happen to reach there, you will see where you start, it is dirty water. But as you continue to move along the process, there's filtering, there's screening, filtering, powering some chemicals to remove the microorganisms, and then there is that kind of testing to see, and testing, as I emphasize, testing is done several times. It is done several times such that water that is produced, or water that is obtained there is clean water, all right? So don't think that the water we use every day here at home or at school or in hospitals is just always new water, the rainy water. No, no, no. It is the used water that goes in the waste sewage treatment plant, then is cleaned or is treated, brought back for use. All right? Good. And now, after using this water, after all that process, that is biological, chemical, and physical processes of treating water, safe and clean water is obtained for domestic use, while the solid remains can be used to make manure for use in the farms. So as they do screening, as they do filtering, they remain with those sold things. So those sold things that remains, they are not useless. They also used for manure in your farms. So they gather them somewhere, then they collect them with vehicles and taken in farms as manure, all right? So please, always don't think we always depend on the rainwater. No, no, no. We depend on water that we used. It is treated again, it is made clean again, and we can use it again, all right? So hope that as our objective was, or our objective were, everybody now, if asked, you can tell some of the resources that can be maintained or reused or recycled. All right? What are they? Have the papers, have the plastics, have the glasses. We have all of those that we mentioned. So you can also tell the processes of treating water. You can outline how sewage treatment is made to get safe water. One, we said you have biological, chemical, and physical processes. And you can try to describe them. All right? So thank you so much. Hope you have enjoyed today's lesson, since you have known that the materials we use at home, we don't just need to dump them and burn them. We can use them for other purposes. We can keep them and then taken to plants and be recycled. And the water we use can be treated and used again at home. So thank you so much for today's lesson. Bye. Enjoy your day.